guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be learning about mosaic crochet. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to make patterns like these. It might look complicated, but it's much simpler. So let's get right into it. For this tutorial, I'll be using my 5mm hook and then 2 of my 5-ply meal cotton yarn. And let's not forget my yarn cutter. When it comes to mosaic crochet, the stitches are normally done in single crochet stitches and then in drop double crochet stitches. To make the foundation chain, we're going to start by counting the number of boxes that we have down here. So we're going to count from here. This arrow here signifies the beginning border. So from here, starting from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 boxes. That means we're going to make 9 chains. But because I want to make an end border, I'll be making 11 stitches. We'll proceed by making our foundation chain by making a hoop and then 11 chains. So we're making the foundation chain for this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 chain stitches here. So what we're going to do next is we're going to enter into the second chain from the hoop. So 1, 2. Enter here and then we'll make our first single crochet stitch, followed by another single crochet stitch in the following chain. And we're going to make single crochet stitches all into all the chains all the way to the end. I'll meet you at the end of this chain. Now that we've reached the end, we're going to chain 1. Pull your yarn long enough because we'll be weaving our ends in, and then with our yarn cutter, make a cut and pull your yarn to secure it. So now we're done with the first part, which is the foundation chain. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stitches, with this stitch here being the beginning border and then this stitch being the end border. I forgot to add that mosaic crochet stitches are mostly worked in the back loops only, minus the beginning border and then the end border, which will do our full single crochet like this. But for the rest of the stitches, we'll be working in the back loops only. So let's start with row number 1. We'll begin row 1 by attaching our green yarn into this stitch over here. So let's start. Pull through. Chain 1 and into the same chain again. Into the same chain again, we'll make our first single crochet. So this stitch here is our border stitch, and then we're going to make 9 single crochets in the back loops, starting from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the last stitch, which is the end border, we're going to make our single crochet stitch, not through the back loops, just through the 2 hoops. So like that, we pull through, chain 1, and then we cut our yarn again. We're done with row 1, and we're going to proceed with row 2. So with row 2, we'll start with our brown yarn for the first 2 stitches, and then we'll change to our green yarn, and then the rest will be with our brown yarn. We are starting row 2 by making our border stitch again. So remember how we did it? You put your pin through, your hook through, pull your yarn through, chain 1 and into the same stitch we'll make our single crochet stitch. For row 2, we'll be making 2 stitches in brown. So we've made our first one, so now on to our second one. So the next stitch will be in the back loop. So we're done with our first 2 stitches, and now we have to attach our green yarn through these 2 hoops. So let's do that right now. Pull through, and then 1 stitch into the back loop here, and we leave these 2 yarns here, and then we'll take our brown yarn from the back, and then we pull through this hoop, and then we'll make the rest of our stitches. Remember that the last stitch at the end is our border stitch, so we won't make our single crochet in the back loop. So let's continue. You can continue to yarn through this yarn, or you can decide to leave it at the back, but I decided to yarn through all of them. So let's continue. So 1, there was a mistake here, so and then in the last stitch, like I said, we're going all in. And you know what to do. You chain 1, and then we snip our yarn. So right now we have our foundation chain, our row 1, and then our row 2. Let's not forget to snip this yarn at the back. Let it be long enough, because you know what I mean. Up next, it's row number 3. So we're going to be starting row number 3 with our green yarn. That's going to be our beginning border stitch, followed by brown, and then our first drop double crochet stitch. So let's get into it. Remember, chain 1, and then single crochet in the same stitch, followed by single crochet back loop, and then this green stitch will making our first drop double crochet stitch. So when you get to this stitch, you wait for me, and then we'll proceed. Our next stitch is the drop double crochet stitch, so we'll make that stitch by yarning over is like a normal double crochet stitch, but instead of going through this hoop here, you go through the hoop down below, enter a hoop, your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 hoops, then pull through 2 hoops. Let's do it again. So we yarn over, go through the side, pull through 2 hoops, pull through 2 hoops, and then you've achieved your drop double crochet stitch. Since the next stitch after the drop double crochet stitch isn't going to be worked in a green yarn, we wouldn't pull through this hoop, we wouldn't pull through. So we'll use the brown yarn, where's that, to pull through those 2 hoops and make our single crochet stitch in the back loop like this. Ugh. Our next stitch requires us to use our green yarn throughout. Remember that the end stitch is the end border stitch, so we wouldn't work the last stitch in the back loop. So I'll meet you at the end. For row 5, I'm going to leave you guys to do it, and then I'll meet you at the end. Remember that for blue I use green, and then for white I use brown, so I'll meet you at the end of row 5. Remember, here is the beginning border stitch, and then the end is the end border stitch. I'm done with row number 5. Now on to row number 6. I'm going to start our row number 6 by attaching our yarn in brown. And I forgot to mention earlier that boxes that are marked with X, you are supposed to make a drop double crochet stitch in each box that is being marked with X. So this X that is marked over in here means that I have to do a drop double crochet stitch in brown here. The X in blue means that I have to do a drop double crochet stitch in green. Yes, I forgot to mention that earlier on. So let's proceed with our number 6. So for our row number 6, I've done my border stitch, and I'm going to proceed with my drop double crochet stitch. So yarn over again, go through here, pull through 2, and then we leave our yarn on the hook and attach our green yarn. So now you know what to do next after attaching our colored yarn for this. So single crochet in the back loop, then we change to brown and make our drop double crochet stitch, change to green, then we'll change to brown again and make our drop double crochet stitch. I'll meet you at the end of this row. I know you guys can do it. I'm done with row 6 now, and then the pattern is really forming well. For the rest of this, which is row 7, row 8, row 9, and row 10, I will leave you guys to do it on your own, and then we'll meet at the end of row 10. So I'm going to leave this pattern here for you guys so that you guys can see it well, and then we'll meet at the end of row 10. I'm done with all my 10 rows, and this is how the project should be looking. This is the back, and then this is the front. You can choose to weave in your ends, or you can choose to leave them out. I mostly leave them out because I love the end, how they are. And yeah, so that's basically it. This is how your project should look like. And thank you for watching this video to the end. I hope you give my video a thumbs up and kindly share, comment on my video, and you can feel free to ask me any questions in relation to the video or any tutorial you would like me to work on. And a quick tip again before I sign off. Remember that this is the beginning border stitch, and we work mosaic crochet stitches in the right direction, unless you are left-handed and you work all your projects from the left. All boxes that are marked with X means it's a drop double crochet stitch. Aside the beginning border stitches and the end border stitches, all stitches need to be worked, all single crochet stitches need to be worked in the back loops only.